Hi fantasy managers, welcome to FPL Team Talk. In this video I'm going to go through my team selection for GameWeek 15. I'm going to talk about captaincy and a lot of possible transfers that I could be making. So if you enjoy these sort of videos, please give it a like, please hit that subscribe button, and in the meantime, let's look into it. So just to have a quick reflection on Game Week 14, just to understand what my transfers, what's driving my transfers ahead for Game Week 15. It wasn't a great week, it wasn't a disaster. I have gone down again in ranks. I'm now 800,000, just a fraction over. So another small red arrow, which is a little bit frustrating, but few positives to take out of it. Simicast picking up clean sheet, not clean sheet, getting an assist was great. Taylor, wow. I suppose you could almost argue he saved the day for me. Saka returning against Salah. Haaland didn't score but got a couple of returns, so that was good. Most of the decisions to bench people were pretty much spot on. Disappointed to see Cash not start, but that was always a threat, and I didn't think Adingra would do much at Brighton anyway, at Chelsea anyway, so that didn't really cost me. I did go for Mbeumo for captain, and if you watched the videos last week, that was really based on the fact that Luton's stats are just so poor. Expected goals against this season is so much considerably worse than anyone else's. Just felt like Brentford were always going to score in that game, and that proved right. They got 3. He obviously only chipped in when the assist could have been a lot better, but I still feel that was a pretty okay call. It would have been better if I'd gone for Haaland, but that's easy to say in hindsight. What it has done, I feel, though, is I have now gone against the captaincy of Salah and Haaland for the last 2 weeks, and I haven't been burnt by that. I haven't really gained a lot either with Saka the previous week, but it feels like I've given myself a little bit more confidence to go against the grain. I don't know, it feels like if you do that, then only a matter of time maybe before Haaland or Salah will hurt you. But 53 points, so actually ranked, like I said, just over 800,000. I did make the only move I made, which would have changed my whole week round, was Darwin came in, Watkins came out. That was off the bat. That was never a consideration until we got those news that Unai Emery said he was, touch and go for the Bournemouth game. Given that he didn't have much of a bench, and the fact that for his next 2 fixtures with Man City and Arsenal, I just thought I can't take the risk with Bowen also a doubt. One of them had to come out. Watkins to Darwin was a good option, I felt. I still don't think it was a bad call. I nearly went to Isaac. That was a real tight call. In the end, I think I'm pretty pleased that I went Darwin instead of Isaac, because with the news that Wilson potentially is back in training and could be back very shortly, that will affect minutes. But I still have that same kind of issue with Darwin. So all things considered, there's quite a few issues I feel like I have in my side. Not that it's badly set up for game week 15 either. This is how it looks. Areola in goal, and he's just been frustrating. I'm not going to go through that because we all know how frustrating it's been. Guehi looks like a decent fixture. Gabriel, yes, fine. Simicast looks great fixture defensively. On the bench, I've got Taylor and then Cash, who I just don't even know if he's going to play. I don't particularly interested in playing at home to City anyway. Midfield, I've got Adingra with his Brentford home game. That looks okay. Salah, Bowen away at Tottenham. Not sure I'm expecting too much for that. I'm just not wildly happy with West Ham, or confident rather than West Ham at the moment. Saka's been brilliant, and Mbeumo's come in again for decent fixture, that and coming up, and then Haaland, Darwin up front. But I do have rotation worry, so I am worried in this side because it's a midweek game and there's lots of players this will affect. But I know the likes of Salah, Saka, Mbeumo, Bowen, Haaland, they're not going to get rotated, but the rest of the team, I still think they could. Darwin could definitely be rested for this game and then brought back at the weekend. That leaves me with a little bit of a problem. Simicast, the same could happen as well. If you feel if they're going to rest a player, possibly going to be Sheffield United, could be it. Gabriel, he has been dropped before, and Adingra's played pretty much every game, including the Europa Conference. So that worries me a little bit. But I don't know if I can really do too much about that. I think you've got to have to accept it. I knew these fixtures were coming up and the Christmas period is difficult. So there's just going to be rotation. I have to accept that. I'm not considering anyone else for captain other than Salah. I think absolutely away at Sheffield United has to be the way to go. There's just no one else I'm even considering. So the transfers that I'm considering, Areola could go to Dubravka, but I'm just not sure whether the next 2 games are worth doing that. I don't see Areola keeping a clean sheet at Tottenham or Fulham for that matter, both away. But then I think Also, same could be said, Dubravka's got a game against Newcastle, which I'd say was easier than away at Tottenham, but I still think Everton's underlying stats and expected goals looks good. So you can see Everton scoring there. Then they go to Tottenham, who I definitely think will score against Newcastle. But Newcastle's defence is that good, so I could make that transfer there. That would be fine. I could, but I also just really don't want cash in my side. Don't know. I would hold him, I think, if I knew he was going to play in game week 18. But his place is under threat now, so he is causing me an issue, and I didn't want to play him anyway. But by moving him to some player that is nailed on, that gives me a little bit more security off the bench. But who do you go to? I mean, I've considered James, I've considered Colwill, but I'm not sure if he's nailed. I wait and see what happens with Cucurella coming back from suspension. Does he keep him out the side, or does Cucurella come back in instead? Don't want to just add to my issues about players not being in the side. If by bringing in Colwill. Reece James, minutes worry, just because he's going to be again brought back into the side. He's an injury risk. I do like him and his ceiling is high, but he's going to be rested. He's not going to be playing 3 games in a week. He would play, you'd think, in midweek straight away back in, but that's away at Manchester United, so I can't see the clean sheet's not impossible, but I wouldn't bank on it. So that's a problem. The other ones I could go for is someone like Lascelles, but then I feel like I'm booking another transfer further down the line because I've got Tsimikas, who will be, no doubt pushed out at some point. Darwin with minutes worry, but I knew that when I brought him in. So I just don't want to book in another transfer right now when I want to keep myself flexible later on. The player that I really want to get is Heung-min Son, and I feel like I've got away with it over, not this week so much because he did get the goal and assist, but over the last 4 weeks, he's only got that. So I have got away with it, and he is such a good asset. The underlying stats still remain really good. So he is a worry. But the only way I can potentially get to him, Salah's not coming out, Saka's not coming out, is moving Bowen out. Now that game against West Ham worries me, with Son playing them. The game after that, Newcastle, I don't think Newcastle will concede many goals in that match. So Bowen then has away at Fulham. So do I just stick with Bowen? The other thing as well is if I go to Son from Bowen, I'm stopping myself from moving from Darwin back to Watkins in, let's say, game week 18 when I will want him back. So there are repercussions there. So I don't think I can just go to Son, but he does worry me. I'd love to get through that West Ham game knowing that he's not got anything more than maybe an assist I'd absolutely take. So I've got the budget, but I do want to weigh back to Watkins at some point. So cash is the option to, possibly move, or I could go from Ariota to Dubravka. Gahey's another player that I'd like to get rid of, but definitely not this week. And then as we see, potentially Darwin captain not considered, but I'm ruling that out. In game week 16, the side looks pretty decent, but Gahey's run of fixtures don't look great. Now I would have to use a transfer at this point, so the rest of the side looks great, I think. I will know more about rotations, because it could be at this point that Tsimikas and Darwin have had a rest so they come back in, or it could be that they're due one. I'll have to wait and see about that. Gahey or Cash would come out, so who would come in? Possibly Pedro Porro, or I'll know more about Cole at this point if he's got his place back. His fixtures look great, so I could move to him. I will also want to, I think later on, moving game week 17 to someone like Palmer, possibly Gordon. I'm siding with Palmer at the moment because Adingra's fixtures run out, but in game week 16 he has the fixture against Burnley at home, and I don't want to lose that. So lots of plans down the line for transfers. It's possible I am worried about rotation this week, and it will probably be the same on Saturday, though I think it will be a bit clearer about who will need a rest and who won't. But Son worries me the most. I just don't think I'm going to go there. And the rest of the fixtures looking forward look all right. So this is a week where I'd just love any sort of green arrow, I'd be absolutely thrilled with, but it is a bit of a worry. That's it for this one then, guys. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments below who you are captaining for game week 15. Is it as clear cut and dry as I have made it, or are you going to go for someone else? And which players are on your watch list that you're looking to transfer in for game week 15? In the meantime, we'll come back at you next week or later on this week before the game week 16 deadline. More watch lists and players to look at, team selections, all that good stuff. So good luck with your game week 15, and I shall see you on the other side.